Want to welcome you to this webinar. It's the first webinar that we'll be having the Commonwealth Scholars Alumni Association Nigeria and our Cameroonian counterparts. So it's on a mentorship on access to Commonwealth scholarships. And like our host, Dr. Mekundayo Samuel has said, we are waiting the president of the Nigerian body of the Alumni Association and the person of Dr. Abiola Dimulu. And then I think shortly after the Cameroonian, our Cameroonian counterpart president will also come on. I am a Commonwealth alumni fellow. We have scholars in the house and we also have fellows. So professional fellows, academic fellows, with the passage of time, you get to know the various packages in the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission of UK. So the webinar, we have 2 topics lined up for today. And the first is about strengthening research capacity for effective access and utilization of UK Commonwealth funds. And then the second topic will be translating research into policy, issues, challenges, and way forward for Commonwealth Scholarship Commission of UK Alumni. And if you look at these topics, look at the first one is how to access the scholarships. And then the second is when you are back from your program, whatever your findings, whatever your research, your publications are, how do you translate it into policies for action, governments to buy in, your community, your host institution, your home institution? How do they benefit from what you have learned from your scholarship in the UK or your studies in the UK? So we'll just quickly take those ones and entertain questions and answers. We may not be able to address everybody's concern here in the house, but I think our speakers and others in the house will do justice to the topics and address your concerns to the best of their ability within the time frame. The speakers will have 20 minutes maximum to give their presentations. Our presidents, Nigeria, Cameroon, they will have like 5 minutes for their introduction. Then we give room for questions and answers because like we know some of us are in our places of work and we may have some other commitments. So once again, ladies and gentlemen, scholars in the house, postgraduate students, undergraduate students, colleagues, we say welcome to this our maiden webinar. Please, you have to accommodate whatever challenges or anything we're experiencing. It's the first time, but I think you are going to go home with something useful. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel. Can we move to the next slide while we are with them? Maybe because of course we don't want to keep people waiting. I think that we'll just move on while we.
One more thing, Dr. Samuel, please. I don't know if our Cameroonian counterparts are already. Sorry?
Sierra Leone, you mean?
Our colleagues from Cameroon, are they already on?
Sierra Leone, you mean?
The house?
Sierra Leone, you meant to say?
Sorry?
Do we have anyone from Sierra Leone, please? Dr. Saliu from Sierra Leone, people from Sierra Leone. Dr. Saliu, are you there? Dr. Sonia? Okay, I just maybe they will just general. So probably because of our time, Favor Kode, I can see one hand. It's been raised.
Okay.
Favor, how are you today?
from Sierra Leone.
Yes. Favor,
Okay, Favor Fatmata, right? Is it Favor Fatmata?
Fode. Yeah, she said yes.
Yeah, welcome, you're welcome.
Good to see you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And please, Dr. Samuel, I would like to, yeah. Hello, Dr. Samuel.
Yes, please, you can go on, please.
I'd like to quickly add one more thing. You know, he introduced me as the coordinator for the South-South zone. And that's why I was asking if we have our Cameroonian, our Sierra Leonean friends on the platform. In Nigeria, we have decentralized association into zones to cover the 6 geopolitical zones in Nigeria. So we now have what we call zonal coordinators. So we can really have, you know, more access to more of our universities and then would-be scholars and PG students. So we have 6 zones in Nigeria and the president overall seeing all the zones. So we have, that's why he introduced me as the COSFAN coordinator for the South-South zone, because I'm domiciled in the South-South part of Nigeria, which comprises 6 states out of the 36 states in Nigeria. So we have Southeast, Southwest, North Central, Northeast, like that. So we have 6 zones of the COSFAN body in Nigeria with Dr. Abiola Adimula as our overall president. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Rachel. So may I ask Doctor to move to the next slide? So I will just introduce the Commonwealth Scholars and Fellows Alumni as shown to us. So it is a non-profit organization. Membership include Nigerians who have enjoyed the sponsorship of the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission in the UK through the British Council in Nigeria, and for postgraduate academic pursuits and their career advancement. So from 1960 to date, so everyone that passed through the UK, through the British Council in Nigeria, from 1960 to date, which was like 62 years back, they are a member, they are members of this great alumni association. So our main objective is to promote and advance national development as agents of change and to promote academic excellence. Just like this. So COSFAN promotes the attainment of the sustainable development goals in our 6 thematic areas. You know, we have 17 SDG goals. 17, we help promote the 17, but the 17 actually, they are under these 6 thematic areas: science and technology for development, strengthening health systems and capacity, promoting global prosperity and respect for human rights, strengthening global peace, security and governance. We also strengthen resilience and response to crisis. And lastly, we access, inclusion, and opportunity. And what we are doing today actually falls under that. So we are promoting your access, and we want everybody to also benefit from this Commonwealth Scholarship that actually we actually is actually up there for everybody to partake in. So members are spearheading different innovative programs and intervention across different sectors in Nigeria. So you have our alumnus or alumni now in almost every sector in the Nigerian economy. So you are welcome to be a member of the alumni body if you're just returned, or if you are about going, we look forward to receiving you when you return to the alumni body. Next slide, please. The Commonwealth Alumni Association of Sierra Leone is also a non-profit and non-governmental organization, and their objectives includes to encourage mutually beneficial network of members, to act as a resource group for regular British Council and Commonwealth Scholarship Commission programs, to undertake corporate social responsibilities activities to address the crucial need of the country, to organize professional development training sessions, and to initiate and develop programs for the benefit of the alumni. So that is the objectives of our Sierra Leonean counterparts of the Commonwealth Alumni Association. Next slide, please. So Dr. Rachel will just read the citation of the speakers for today while we await them to come in. So she will start with the president of the Commonwealth of Nigeria, then we'll move on that way. Thank you, Dr. Rachel.
Yeah, with all due respect, the House permits me to read the citation of my indefatigable president, Dr. Ruth Abiola Adimula, is the president of Commonwealth Scholars and Fellows Alumni Association Nigeria, COSFAN, and the secretary, Board of Trustees of the COSFAN. She is a senior lecturer at Center for Peace and Strategic Studies, University of Ilorin, Kwara State, and the principal partner of Biola Adimula & Co., a firm of legal practitioners established since 1995. Dr. Adimula has been a guest lecturer and external examiner at various institutions in Nigeria and USA. She was a council member, International Bar Association, London, in 2010 to 2012. She has held political appointments with the Kwara State government and served as a consultant, Senate Committee on Constitutional Review of Federal Republic of Nigeria from 2016 to 2019. Dr. Adimula obtained her PhD in Peace and Development Studies in 2014, LLM 2004, Obafemi Awolowo University, Ile-Ife, and LLB in 1992, ABU Zaria. Her area of research include law, gender, internally displaced persons, and refugees in West Africa. Next slide. Wow. I've been taking off for Dr. Hello, sir. Hello.
You can go on, please.
My screen is blank. My screen is blank.
Is it your network? Because I can see it from here.
I don't know if it's my network.
Can you see? Rosie, can you see to be sure that I'm not the only one that can see the screen?
The screen is clear. I can also see the screen from here.
It was showing another person's profile.
Yes, we are on Sonia's profile now.
Okay then.
Can you see it?
No. I'm still trying to get back on. I can't explain what has happened.
Maybe you should log out and log in again, ma.
Okay.
To resolve it.
Okay. All right. I'm trying to get back.
Yes, please do. Let us give you one more minute before we commence.
Okay.
You can log out and just re-log in again, please.
I'm logging in again. I tried to. Yeah, I'm back. Sonia Magbubu Jabi. Hello? Hello?
Yes, we can hear you. Can go on, please.
Yeah.
You can.
Please permit me if I'm not pronouncing his name properly. Sonia Magba Bubuaki Jabi is the Director of Demographic Health and Social Statistics Division and Head of Research and Innovations at Statistics Sierra Leone, Sierra Leone's National Statistics Office, NSO. He has collaborated on several projects related to statistics, research, and analysis with several stakeholders, including UN agencies, FCDO, and the World Bank. Sonia Magba Bubuaki Jabi is recognized at global levels for his work at Statistics Sierra Leone, Stats SL, and has represented his country at several high-profile strategic meetings as a presenter or keynote speaker. Locally, he is one of the faces of Statistics Sierra Leone and has done many interviews, both radio and TV, on several issues, including the Multiple Indicator Cluster Survey, MICS, Demographic and Health Survey, VHS, and Census. He is a recipient of the Next Eastern Forum Award for recognition of his work in scientific research. He is also the co-author of several published peer-reviewed papers. He has also lectured in the area of research and statistical methods for postgraduate students at the University of Sierra Leone on a part-time basis. As a consultant, next slide, who is going to scroll up? Who is taking the slides up? Sorry, I'm not done yet with his profile.
The full profile is on this slide.
Dr. Richard.
As a consultant, that's where mine stops.
Doctors, what is the issue? What's the challenge? Hello, doctors.
Hello, sir. The full profile is on the screen, the one here. So, except if the documents being read is not the one on the screen.
No. You should stop ads and the World Bank on statistical research issues.
Yes, that's what is on the screen.
Yes, that's what you stop. Dr. Richard, okay. Did you hear that?
Yes.
Okay, so let's move to the
and
next
one. Okay, the next one.
Yes, please. Next speaker, please.
So
yes, thank you.
Okay. The next one says is our speaker, is one of our speakers, Dr. Ekundayo Samuel, is the Secretary General, Commonwealth Scholars and Fellows Alumni Association, Nigeria, and the founder and board chair of Dove Haven Foundation. He was a Digital Health and Cancer Research Fellow at Oncopadi Technologies Limited. Dr. Samuel is a recipient of several awards and scholarships, including 2014 University of Ibadan Scholarship, 2017 Commonwealth Split Site PhD Scholarship, University of Bath, UK, 2018 ROCS BDB Dent Young Award, UK, 2019 Aspect Mentoring Network Award, first from Nigeria and Africa, US, 2020 CAS Future Leaders Award, first from Nigeria. Dr. Samuel is a beneficiary of the ACEA Award, University of Georgia, USA, with certificates in leadership and management in health, University of Washington, USA. Dr. Samuel holds a Doctor of Veterinary Medicine and Masters in Biochemistry degrees from the University of Ibadan, Nigeria. He is a PhD candidate with the Cancer Research Institute of the University of Ibadan. Thank you.
Go on, please. The last speaker.
The next speaker is our colleague from Sierra Leone. He is Samuel Bonzu. He has over 14 years of experience in government, academia, policy, research, and private sector working on economic policy management and development programs at the International Monetary Fund, Washington, D.C., Sierra Leone National Revenue Authority, NROA, Bank of Sierra Leone, BSL, University College London, UCL, and Ministry of Finance. Samuel holds a PhD in economics from Royal Holloway, University of London, United Kingdom. He also holds a Master of Public Policy from the National Graduate Institute for Policy Studies in Tokyo, Japan, and the BSc Honors in Economics from Fora Bay College, University of Sierra Leone. Recently, Samuel was contracted in January 2020 to serve as special appointee for a year at the African Department of the International Monetary Fund as part of the Economic Advisory Team to Zimbabwe government. Samuel currently serves as Director of Micro-Fiscal Policy Division in the Ministry of Finance in Sierra Leone. Prior to his engagement at the Ministry of Finance, Samuel was a senior economist at the Bank of Sierra Leone. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Dr. Rachel. I can see Dr. Samuel Bonzo here present.
You're welcome, Dr. Samuel Bonzo.
Our other speaker.
Thank you very much.
How are you, sir? Dr. Saliu, the General Secretary of the Sierra Leone Alumni Association. I can see you also, Dr. Saliu. How are you? Welcome. Dr. Saliu, can you hear me?
What's up with this?
Yes, I can hear you. Loud and clear.
You're also welcome. So I think we are good to go in the meeting. We have read all the profile of the speakers. Then because of time, we will need to start at the moment. So I will ask the admin to please share the second slide for us so we can commence the meeting. Thank you so much, everybody, for your patience. So thank you for the opportunity to speak in this meeting. The British Council, I appreciate this, and also the collaboration between COSFAN and Sierra Leone. So I'll be very brief because of our time that already has been spent, then we'll now have time for questions. But I want to be sure that Dr. Samuel Bonzo can hear. Dr. Samuel Bonzo?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay. So thanks. So we'll just, after my part, then you just come up almost immediately. So I'll be speaking today on strengthening resilience or strengthening research capacity that will aid access and on how we utilize Commonwealth Scholarship. But being the first speaker, I have to give us a lot of background so that you have enough information as we move on. So I am Dr. Ekundayo Samuel. I am a Commonwealth Scholar for 2017 and at the University of Bath. So Commonwealth Scholarship Commission in the UK is funded by the UK Foreign Commonwealth and Development Office. It is formerly called Department for International Development, DFID. Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship enables talented and motivated individuals who could not otherwise afford to study in the UK to gain the knowledge and skills required to make a positive impact on development priorities of their own country. The CSC awards over 750 scholarships and fellowship for postgraduate study and professional development each year. At the moment, we have over 30,000 Commonwealth scholars and fellows who have been funded by the UK government through the CSC since 1960. And the objective of this CSC is to recognize and promote the highest standard of intellectual achievement in area of technical and professional performance, to improve manpower development needs of members' country, to promote culture, mutual cooperation, and exchange of educational experiences among Commonwealth countries. Next slide, please. So, Commonwealth Scholarship are offered under 6 development-related themes, like I mentioned earlier: science and technology for development, strengthening health system and capacity, promoting global prosperity, strengthening global peace, security and governance, strengthening resilience and response to crisis, and lastly, access, inclusion, and opportunity. So the whole idea about this actually falls under the 17 SDG goals that we all have. So your research area or your proposed work will definitely fall under one of these. So if you don't have any work that is falling under this SDG goal, then I think you need to rethink, because you will not have access to being funded by the Commonwealth. The next slide, please. So there are various scholarships that you can benefit in the UK. We have the Commonwealth PhD scholarships, which is a full-time doctoral study at the UK university for applicants from least developed countries and fragile states. So this actually is changing almost every time, but now, and you cannot apply directly to this kind of PhD program. You have to go through a nominating agency, which could be your country or an NGO. Then we also have the Commonwealth Specialized Scholarship that you spend some part of your program in Nigeria or in your country, then you now go and do some other part also in the UK. We have the Commonwealth Master Scholarship for full-time master study at the UK university, and we also have the Commonwealth Shared Scholarship for full-time master study on selected courses, jointly supported by UK. So this one is both the UK government and also the university that is supporting you on shared scholarship. Then we have the Commonwealth Distance Learning Scholarship that you can be in your country and also take part in that scholarship also in the UK. And we have the last one, the Commonwealth Professional Fellowship, people who are already in their mid-career, who could be maybe senior lecturers, but they want to actually advance their studies. So they have access to next slide. But you can see all this actually in the link as seen on my slide here. Next slide, please. So I have to be fast so that I can meet up. So equal opportunity and access. So what I see is that everybody actually have access to the Commonwealth Scholarship. So there is no discrimination whatsoever. So the CSC want to identify talented individuals. So if you want to apply to the Commonwealth, you have to meet this criteria. You must be talented, someone who is creative, someone who can identify problems and also give profound solution, who have the potential to make change. We believe that the more diverse our scholars are, the greater impact their research we have. So the CSC is also committed to support outreach activities and also to encourage scholarship for people with disabilities. So this actually is very important. And in subject areas related to the rights of people with disabilities. So we work with disabled people's organization to encourage participants, assist with applications, nominate the applicants, and identify. So there's no limit. So there's no, don't say that, yes, maybe, no. In CSC program, they don't discriminate. So everybody is actually welcome to apply. Next slide, please. So, how do you apply for to Commonwealth Scholarship and Fellowship? So before applying, please read the CSC terms and conditions and information to each applicant. So you'll find this actually in their on their website. So go through it first. Make sure that you are eligible before you even, so that you don't waste your time, waste a lot. So try to see that you are eligible before you even get to apply for the scholarship. Next, please. Next slide. So there are nominating agencies that, like I mentioned, that some scholarship you cannot apply directly. You have to go through a body. So, and the body could be your country. It could be some NGOs or some universities that are actually they've recorded. So this actually is actually found also on their website. Next slide, please. So for selection criteria, I found out this and I said, okay, let me share with us, because if you want to apply, you have also this information that, so because we want to make sure that you actually meet up with the stuff that you so for every application, they will grade your academic merits by around 46%. Maybe you have first class, 2-1, you know, everything will be graded and it will go around 46%. So for the quality of your research proposal and your study plan, it will take around 20%. So your potential impact on development of your own country will take, so everything that you are putting forward, they will ask you there that you should state or write an essay on the impact that your work is going to make when you return back to your own country. So, and that will take around 25%. And maybe the general now, maybe for the fact that you even attempt to even apply, you can fall under the 9% that so you can see that in there. So let's go on, please. So these are key links. These are key links for you to assess this scholarship. So you can find out, you can actually take the picture, or if you like. Next slide, please. So I'll just share with you, please, not here, please. Can you go back to the research? Okay, please, thank you. So strengthening research capacity is critical, and I want to share with you this, because if you don't have the research capacity, it will be difficult for you to have access. Even though you have access, you might not be selected. So I have grouped this into 3 bullet points, and I'll be speaking on these 3 points, because it is very critical that you know that before you can access and utilize the UK fund, you need to meet up with this. And the truth is that the Commonwealth will not just fund any our research. They will fund a research that actually has a potential to create impact, to make a difference in the home country and also at the global level. However, for we to strengthen the research capacity of people who want to apply, I've said that we also, because this meeting is also to also give some recommendation to people who are also who should know about what they should do in the country, that scientists or researchers, they should make sure that they have enough wages that could help them to actually carry out a very good research or write a good proposal that has huge potential. So we are saying that there should be motivation for researchers. And if there is motivation, that will strengthen the research capacity of people that want to apply for Commonwealth Scholarship. Because before you just apply, you must have been doing something before you apply. Because they want to see your progression, how you are actually progressing. What have you been doing? And that's why we are saying that people should involve themselves in actually a rich research. They should involve themselves in research that has the strength and capacity to make impact. Because they are going to select those who have the best quality of research, like what I said earlier about the criteria. However, people will not be able to do that if they don't have enough money. Like now, you could see that in Nigeria now at the moment, the staff they are on strike because they are calling for the government to actually increase their salary. Because if they don't increase their salary, they will not have enough capacity to do research that will attract funding. And may I inform you that the Commonwealth funding is actually one of the most competitive scholarship that you can actually see in the world. It's highly competitive. It's for the best of the best. And therefore, we encourage the government or whoever that employs people that they should please to try to fund people to carry out good research. Also, we also encourage people to be awarded when they are doing good research. I'm aware that there are some awards in Nigeria whereby they rank researchers and give them award. So I think that will also be a motivating factor also to see that people who are working are being rewarded. So we also encourage universities, employers to also train and retrain their researchers so that they can increase their capacity to actually to be able to access the Commonwealth Fund. And also, they should also increase their opportunity also, because that will go a long way to increase their capacity to be able to access the Commonwealth. Because you need to build yourself, get some level of backup if you are applying, because the Commonwealth actually want to see your progress. They want to see what you have been doing. They want to see how you've been doing that. Also, if you also have some good publication, you can also, because they will also ask you if you also have some publication. So in your application, so if you have good publication, it's a plus for you. And you cannot get good publication if you don't have good resources to carry out good research. So we are asking that there should be motivation to our researchers to also strengthen their capacity. The other point is that for you to have a strengthened research capacity that will enable you to be able to access the Commonwealth Fund, there should be a conducive environment to carry out good research. The government must be interested, the NUC must be interested, for example, in Nigeria, in funding these researches. Because if there is no conducive environment, if the government is not interested in research, there is no way we can attract this Commonwealth Scholarship. And that's today we are asking that even the government of Nigeria should please create an enabling environment, and that's why the ASU people now they are on strike, because they want the government to provide an enabling place for them to conduct good research. And because if they have good research, then yes, they can attract and they can also win Commonwealth Scholarship in the UK. So you know that we're talking about even access. We're talking about access. So there should be provision of good equipment. And the difference is that there are good equipment actually in the UK as compared to what we have in Nigeria. And that's why we are saying that if universities or employers in the country can at least provide the minimum equipment for people to work in the country, that would enhance their capacity to be able to access Commonwealth funding. So we also point that ask that there should be libraries that are really well furnished, online resources. Even as of today, there are some papers in Nigeria that are in the world that you cannot access from Nigeria. Some paper that you might need to actually use in your write-up or proposal is not available because we cannot access those papers. So you have to go through a friend in the UK that have access to those resources to help you download those papers that you can use for your work. So I did the same thing when I was in Nigeria. So I actually asked a friend in the UK to please help me access the paper that I need to reference in my work. So we need to increase this to make sure that yes, we have people that are quoting the right reference. Because if you're writing your proposal and you are referencing the wrong people, it will not actually make sense. You will not gain access. You may not be able to win those. So you need to reference the latest work on that paper or on that research area. So I think it will be good that we actually do this so that we're able to have access to this. And also, we also talk about the issue of supervision. So, let me say that I hope you know that it is not all supervisors that are actually award-winning supervisors. So you should please look for supervisors that are actually award-winning, because they also request you to also submit the name of your supervisor and also get a letter of support from your supervisor. So if your supervisor is not an award-winning supervisor, it can also affect your chance, because they need people that also have track record. So if a supervisor is someone that is cheating before, maybe is doing a lot of plagiarism and everything, you will not have access. So the nature of the supervisor also have influence on you being you also having access to also getting the scholarship. So we need supervisors who are willing, who are motivated, who are award-winning supervisors to supervise people that want to also apply. So if you want to choose your supervisor, choose rightly, choose wisely. Don't choose those people who are fraud, people who are plagiarizing other people's work as a supervisor, because that will also affect your chance of securing the Commonwealth, because they will track all these things when they ask for your recommendation letter and you submit them, so to also carry some mark in you being actually having access to this scholarship. Then lastly, I will talk about collaboration. So at this point, I hope you are aware that we cannot do anything now about outside collaboration. So as a researcher in Nigeria or in Sierra Leone, you should be, please, have a collaborative work being done in your research. Don't just work alone and think that yes, you will attract funding. No, work in collaboration, because if we are two, we do better research than if I'm the only one. And the one that is going towards collaboration. Next slide, please. So I'll just share with you brief before I round up about my own journey, because it will also help you if you're also writing your own work. So I'm a cancer-focused researcher, and I began my research actually in Nigeria in UI, and I was focusing on trying to see how to reduce cancer burden in Nigeria. And my friend actually spoke to me about that. Okay, you can also apply to this scholarship, and I did. Also, if you are also submitting your application, so what I did was that I looked at my research area. I look at it in tandem with CSE objective to see if it's in line with what I want to do. So if you want to submit your proposal, please try and look at your research, look at the CSE objective, and see if actually is in tandem. If they go on, because if your research proposal is actually not in line with CSE objective, then automatically you are actually you are gone, because you can't win that. So also make sure that your supervisor actually is in support of your proposal. Make sure that your supervisor writes an award-winning letter of recommendation for you. That's actually very important. So when I got to the UK, I actually have a very good host. Even while I was there, I got a good host, and that also increased my chance of actually winning it, because he wrote a powerful letter of support for my application. So those things are very important. So you must get people that will write letter of support, because those are very, very important for you to have access to this funding. Next slide, please. Next slide, please. So in my time in the UK, I had a rewarding time studying in the UK. So I learned how to respect and appreciate other people's space. I learned resilience. I learned how to meet, because I'm speaking with you now as if you've already won the award. So being here actually has shown that yes, you have the zeal of winning. And I'm speaking now as if you can have an idea of what we've done and when we came back home. So people are happy when you are doing well in the UK. So unlike here, I'm sorry, but here is more of competition. But over there, when I do the right thing, people are happy. And hard work and diligence is actually very rewarded. And I also met new friends in the UK. Please move on, please. So I gained some skills in the UK. I gained organizational skills. I gained leadership skills. I actually gained event plan and management skills, teaching skills, research, and I even learned some high level of communication skills, because the way we speak is not from the way they speak about it. So you have to learn this over time to actually improve your. Let's go, please. Okay, so in my time in the UK, I served the CSE as the university representative in 3 universities in the UK, and I also organized awareness program even in the UK among some whites. I also took part in 3MT in my university. I also did some casual teaching work in my department. I also learned to do some other skills, and from there, I began my NGO that I called Dove Even Foundation when I returned back in Nigeria, because that actually was also found in my proposal that when I'm going to return back to Nigeria, I'm going to start this NGO. And when I came back, I launched the NGO, and it's really, really functioning and it's actually impacting a lot in the country. Let's go on, please. So my NGO is focused on this. Next slide, please. So I met some people in the UK. So this is the people that my university's vice chancellor and some good friends that we actually did some great work together in the UK. So it's a good time to do this in UK, and I'm looking forward to also having you also in the UK, every one of you. Next slide, please. I'm finishing now my slide. So these are my expenses in the UK, and I'm also ready to actually take some questions from you. Thank you so much. Next speaker, please. I will stop here because of time. I think we should take the questions after we finish.
I have question, please.
Can we take the question after please? Let's take the question after the finish.
I think so. I think we should take it together.
Yes, please.
We'll take the second presentation.
Dr. Isa, you are welcome.
Yeah, I'm so sorry I was bereaved. So, Dr. Sagia, thank you for holding forth while I was. Thank you so much, Dr. Ekundayo. I came in and that's simply fantastic. I mean, nothing was untouched. So we really appreciate you. Now, there are a lot of questions and requests in the chats, requests for the presentation, and I hope you'll be doing that. Is it possible to, yes, there are so many emails that are requesting for the slides of your presentation. I think if we can put it in the chat somewhere, okay, so that people can, yes, or you send a link.
We'll respond to that. Yes.
We'll respond to that. Thank you very much. Now, without further ado, we'll move on to the second lecture, and that is going to be given by Dr. Samuel Bonzu from the Alumni Association, CSC Alumni Association of Sierra Leone. And just as with Dr. Ekundayo, it's impossible in a few minutes to give you at least a taster as to what to expect from Dr. Bonzu. The hat has so many feathers. He has 14 years of experience in government, academia, policy research, private sector, working on economic policy, management, development programs in international institutions such as International Monetary Fund, and so on and so forth. Dr. Samuel Bonzu currently serves as the Director of Macro Fiscal Policy Division in the Ministry of Finance in Sierra Leone. That body responsible for drafting and coordinating the MEFP for the EFC review, monitoring of quantitative performance criteria, and so on and so forth. Between 2009 and 2013, he held the position of the economist at the National Revenue Authority, Sierra Leone. He has also worked as a lecturer in the Department of Banking and Finance at the Institute of Public Administration and Management. Dr. Bonzu is a Commonwealth Scholar. He had this award between 2015 and 2018, and is going to be speaking to us on translating research into policy, the issues, challenges, and the way forward. So please welcome Dr. Samuel Bonzu. Dr. Samuel Bonzu, please, you're on, and you have 20 minutes. Thank you. Dr. Bonzu, please.
I think he's having a network issue at the moment. Dr.
Okay.
Samuel, I can see the Sasalu here.
Okay.
You have any information from Dr. Samuel?
Yes. Yes, I'm here.
Yes.
Bonjour is in the UK actually, so not sure what's happening. He should have a very good connection, I think.
Yeah,
I think yes. I think he was in earlier. Okay. I think maybe we would discuss your paper a bit, Dr. Ekundayo, hoping that the reception on your side is going to be, it's going to resolve itself and it joins us so that maybe we take some of I noticed that some people had their hands up.
Okay.
So
Right,
the first one, yes, Miss Ogumola Deborah, if you can ask your question, and Dr. Ekundayo can start responding to, questions, please. You can leave question in the chat box or by, signifying if you want to speak to Dr. Ekundayo. So we'll take that while we await Dr. Bonzo.
Okay, so I don't know.
Ogumola Deborah, please.
Miss Ogumola Deborah. Okay. Maybe another network issue. So
who is next, please, to ask questions?
Yes, questions, please, or comments.
Good morning from here in Nigeria.
Yeah, good morning.
You're on, please. My question is actually about the recommendation. There was a time that I already had a supervisor at UK who is willing to work with me, and I met all the criteria stated on the CSC website. But unfortunately, when it was the interview day, I got there and I was told, oh, sorry, the schedule is tight and we cannot slot you in just like that. And, things that they were like, they have only 30 people that they can recommend. And even though I have everything it's required, I couldn't get. So issue of the recommendation, how can we actually scale through that? Thank you.
Yeah, I'm sorry to hear that. It's part of what is experienced most of the time. Well, I'm sorry again, because the truth is that the issue of recommendation is very critical, because sometimes they give slots, and if we have a larger number of people that actually apply, and that, for example, at the university, if they say, okay, we need 10 people that have first class, we might have 10 people. Maybe you can have a double of that actually has a first class. So they might not have issues in doing the selection. So they will not leave the issue of the first class and move to other area. So sometimes that could be when we have a lot of limited space. So I don't know the kind of program that you actually applied for. Is it a PhD or a master's program that you actually applied for? Shefra.
It's actually a PhD program. It's a PhD program.
Yeah, so so because what I'm aware of is that sometimes they give slots. It is slots. Maybe if you go to the website of those universities that you're actually applying to, they will tell, okay, we have a 5 slots that will be sponsored by the Commonwealth. So
sorry, it's not the university now. I'm talking about Nigeria Ministry of Education selecting. Yeah.
What I'm saying is that they work in tandem. So the university in Nigeria or the federal government will also recommend people that will take it up, because they might say, okay, we want to give, for example, Nigeria Federal Scholarship Board 30 slots, for example, and 1 million people actually applied. So even though you have good letter of recommendation, good paper, they also look at, okay, what area is Commonwealth also wanting to fund at this point in time. So that will also be a lot of factor also. So if your proposal actually is not the one that is taking a high level of priority at that moment, then you might actually not get the recommendation from the federal scholarship board. So sometimes it could be that way. So it could be your proposal, it could be the number of people that are actually applying, it could be the focus of your own proposal that you are submitting. So those are actually a bit tricky. Yeah. You get what I mean? So you can try again, because if you try again, you can also get funded, because maybe what you're looking at that year, that's actually what you're looking at. Dr. Richard, want to say something?
Yeah. Hello, can I just chip in something concerning that lady's challenge?
Yes, please.
So obviously from what she has said, it was actually a Nigerian factor that got her out of the award. And then we as alumni of the Commonwealth Scholarship, we are trying to strengthen our collaboration with the Federal Scholarship Board. So we are working now in close synergy with the Federal Scholarship Board. Maybe those issues that are Nigerian factor or Nigerian based will be addressed. Because if the number of slots they are giving to Nigeria, if they get this figure early enough, it will also guide them in their selection, the people they are shortlisting to come for interviews. So that you have gotten all the areas of supervisor, strong recommendations, you will not be screened out because the schedule is tight, they cannot accommodate you. You know, when that synergy is there, early enough, good communication, you may not, if you are shortlisted, it means you will be scheduled for an interview. If you are not shortlisted, then you will not bother yourself going. So we are trying to close that gap. Since it's a Nigerian factor, we're trying to close that gap. If the UK is saying 30 PhDs and they're giving the criteria, the selection should be geared in that direction. So we are sorry about that, but some persons, honestly, 3-4 times and then they got it. Please don't be discouraged.
Thank you very much. That's a lovely intervention, Dr. Sage, yes. And in fact, Dr. Samuel started on, and it's a fantastic finish from Dr. Sage. The thing is just, please don't give up. Continue to try, okay? In as much as the Alumni Association is trying what we can from our end, as Dr. Osage rightly said, I think it's up to intending candidates to also try to be dogged, you know? The Nigerian factor is a factor, it's not human, but the person seeking the scholarship can rise above, you know, those kind of factors. And we hope that all those kind of things would, you know, in the very foreseeable and near future, that when we speak about Nigerian factor, we're talking about factors that can actually get us wherever we want to be. Now, I think what Dr. Samuel, Dr. Ekundayo, there are 1 or 2 questions that I see in the chat, you know, I'm going to read, they're sort of related. So I'll read, I think 2 or 3, so that you take them together. And hopefully by the time you're through with that, maybe we'll be joined by Dr. Bonzo. Now I have this one from Ibironke Oluwakemi, and she wants to know what point one can start accessing the scholarship, because she's currently working with a supervisor for a PhD admission in the UK. And I think that's a very good start. Then the second question from Delight A, must one first have a research proposal before accessing the Commonwealth Scholarship? Then, must one have working experience before having the access? If yes, what is the minimum number of working year experience? And I also note an earlier question by someone who wants to know whether you need to be employed at any rate, you know, to be able to access the scholarship. So I would expand a bit to cover other questions, in the sense that, must you be employed or unemployed, or do you have to be employed in an academic institution before you can access the scholarship? So if you peg it at that, Dr. Ekundayo, I'll read out more.
Thank you for those questions. Okay, well, I will just give my own recommendations here. So like we said earlier, this webinar is too short to answer all the questions. So, and that's why I also sent in the link. You can get enough information on the CSC website. So, and so that you can actually, because most of the questions they are actually there. So today we are looking at strengthening your research capacity to enable you to actually access these funds. So what I would say that, what point do you start to, do you get to the point where you start to assess? Well, you need funding for something. So, and if you don't have that idea already, I don't think you need funding. So I think you should start with your idea. Start with the idea, put down your idea. Then, now look for what are the resources that I will need to actually bring this idea to pass. So I think that is the basic thing. So the Commonwealth now, they are funding your ideas. So if you don't have any idea, then you don't have anything to do with seeking for the funding. So because they are helping you to fund your scholarship, your studies, you apply to the university, the Commonwealth Scholarship will help to fund your program in that university that you apply to. And that is why when you're submitting your application, you apply to the university and you apply to Commonwealth also. So you must have gotten admission in the university that you are applying to before you get funding. So because you will need to upload your admission letter on the website of the CS to show that yes, you already have a space. So they are not going to apply for you. So you will just apply yourself to the university, and then you seek for funding from the CSC to fund your program. So invariably, you must have a proposal before you begin to seek for funding, because it is a proposal that we use to get admission in the university. So you must have a proposal ready, what you want to do before you do that. Although some of the scholarships, for example, if a friend of mine actually asks the university what research are they actually doing that you can actually key into. So you can also join a research group in the university also by writing a proposal, but you just key into what they are doing, but you still submit those stuff also to the CSC. So it's a two-way thing. So you can have an idea of your own, or you seek collaboration with a UK university that can actually have access to this funding. So I think so you must have a proposal. It's actually because you must have an idea of what you want to do before you apply for this. So the working experience is not compulsory that you have a working experience. It's not compulsory, but they will ask you something like maybe your volunteering skills. Have you volunteered before? Where have you volunteered? Your paper. So because some of these questions also, for example, the fellowship, you should be employed in an institution, maybe in university or so before, because it's more of a fellowship. I think Osaka will speak more about the issue of fellowship now. So because that one, I think you must be employed, because you must be in your mid-career before you apply. So for the issue of fellowship, so you don't need to be employed, for example, for the issue of the masters. So for the MS, you can apply directly. There's one that you can apply directly. There's one that you must apply through the nominating agencies. For PhD split site, you will also need to apply. You can apply directly for split site. You will not go to the government for PhD split site. So that one is straight to the university. If they give you admission, then fine. So for the PhD full PhD, you have to go through the government before you will be given the scholarship. I'm not sure if I answered that, because Torisha can actually give some input also.
Yeah, hello. Thank you, Dr. Ekunda. You are doing so well. Yes. He has taken all those other ones, and they say whether you need to be employed. For those higher degrees, you really need to be employed, because they are afraid you may not want to come back. That's one. Secondly, there's an aspect where your university needs to probably give you a support letter, or your organization. You don't necessarily have to be in an academic institution for the PhD, the master's, or even the fellowship. And that's why we have postdoctoral academic research fellowship, which is for people who are in academics, research institutes, or any other research outfits, because the organization you are coming from needs to give you a letter saying your job will be available for you when you get back. That is like a letter of honor. So you need to be attached to somewhere to get those fellowships. And usually, if it's the professional type, you have your criteria. Even medical fellowship, it's available. The academic research fellowship for PhD holders it's equally available. And some universities are members of what we call Commonwealth Association Universities, or Association of Commonwealth Universities, ACU. So if you are in the academic setting or in an institution, it's easier for you because they have their slots, both for PhD and for the postdoc fellowship. Each university who is a member of the Association of Commonwealth Universities, they have their slots. But sometimes, you know, this politics and the Nigerian factor comes in. If the head of the institution, you are not dispensing, you are not in his good books, the nomination form for the university might not get to you. And that's why we still have to fall back to the Federal Scholarship Board, which is a nomination body. And you say, when do you start assessing the Commonwealth Scholarship? You read through from their website and you begin to tick the boxes, dotting your I's and crossing your T's, pending when the call for application will open. So immediately the call opens, whatever you need to do now is just to perfect whatever proposal you want to submit. So you start on time, you start early enough. He has spoken about the masters. You have the shared scholarship for masters, which you don't really need to go through any Nigerian body or any institution in Nigeria. So that Nigerian factor we are talking about does not come into play for masters that is under the shared scholarship. It is between you and any university in the UK that is also a member of the shared scholarship scheme under the Commonwealth. And there are specific programs that are under that scheme. So when you go through these universities under the scheme and the courses available, if your course is there, then you now make your contact directly with the university. Once you are taking, the university says, yes, we need this person. It's you, your host university in the UK, and the Commonwealth. That is for the shared master's scholarship. And for the postdoc, your PhD needs to be not older than 5 years. So when these calls open, the eligibility requirements are all there. We can't take all of them today, but we'll make these sites available. So if your university is not among, if you are from the academia, any of you here, if your university is not a member of the Association of Commonwealth Universities and you are in the university system, then you will take our address as a way of follow-up, because we are making a list of universities who are not members and who would like to be members. We also have some universities who were members before, but they did not meet their own obligations to the association, and their names have been taken off. I am from such an institution, so we are trying to get my institution back. So if you are in such institutions, please, you communicate to us. Our communication address will be there, so that we can make comprehensive list. New entrants, people who were there before and they are out, if you are in such universities, so that when these forms come to your universities, you can benefit. So as time goes on, we'll clear other areas. I think that's all. So you start early to assess the Commonwealth Scholarship packages that are available and you are qualified for. You start early enough. Thank you.
Thank
you. Yes, yep.
Please, can you call Dr. Saliu to also contribute from Sierra Leone?
Oh, I was even about, because I saw that the chairman joined us.
Yes, he has left again. So
he has left again. Okay.
You can just call Saliu.
Oh, okay, no problem. But I see Olufemi Adesokwe.
Yes, please.
Yes. Please, let's
good afternoon, all. My name is Professor Olufemi Adesokwe from the University of Port Harcourt.
Thank you.
I thank you for the comments. I just want to find out and make this contribution also. You know, I've been hearing Nigerian factor. What do we really mean by Nigerian factor? Now, I need to make this very clear so that I'm sure for the benefit of those who also are trying to apply. I used to be the assistant director, Center for Research Management in my university for quite a while. I was handling this same process. Just like Dr. Sage said, sorry, I hope your designation is the correct one I mentioned. The issue of obligation. My university for almost 4 years could not meet up the obligations financially. I think we paid $3,000 to ACU and AAU. And then the name of our university was removed. We made frantic efforts and got it back. You know, now I know very well that if you don't pay, after a while, your debt will be struck off. So if that's the Nigerian factor, I don't know. But then I know when documents come to the Vice Chancellor, they send it direct to us, to my center, and we process. We send the information around and all. So we let the university community know everything about the program. And then at the end of the day, those who will be selected will be selected. So I think there's need to let people also understand. When we say Nigerian factor, it's a very negative light painting. I don't really want us to be saying Nigerian factor in the public. It makes me feel like there's something else beyond what I think I know. Thank you very much.
Oh, thank you, Prof.
Thank you so much. Yes.
Hello, sir.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Yes. You know, I was just trying to borrow the language of the first person who got as far as Abuja to be interviewed, and they say that it's too tight, you cannot be scheduled for an interview. And she had been shortlisted. Okay. So that's an issue. In my own postdoctoral fellowship, do you know the Commonwealth had to contact me personally? That this is 2 weeks to the deadline for acceptance, and we have not heard from you. Your admission had been sent to your university, and we have not heard from you. I was shocked.
Okay.
And by the time I ran around and did everything, I could not even join the October set because the information was sent and nobody contacted me until the Commonwealth had to contact me 2 weeks to deadline for acceptance of offer. So they had to push me to January set.
Yeah, I think maybe it's the system, because my own system, it comes directly to my center, and we've never missed any, except maybe somebody didn't go through.
So that's one that I experienced. I had to print, run the university, nothing. So we have to get a system and a responsible officer that will be the university link person.
Okay. That's what we do. Yes.
A direct person who's responsible. So anything that comes immediately, it's being disseminated, even when your school comes in and all that. So that's what we just mean by maybe the Nigerian factor in some universities. Right? And then I'm sorry, sir. I'm just So that's it. Yeah. So congratulations for getting your school back. We are still trying to get my own school back.
Which is your institution? Which is your school, please?
Dr. Sage, Prof is asking a question.
Which is your institution, ma?
Our network is hanging now.
Yes, I think when we have our back.
All right.
Thank you so much to Prof.
Oh, thank you.
That intervention, yes.
Can we invite
and I will also, are you trying to say something, Dr. Kundayo?
Dr. Sali is raising up his hand.
I can see him, yes. Okay. I also had my voice to Dr. Sage that, yes, it's just taking responsibility that we're all Nigerians and we're responsible for ensuring that things work as they should. Now, I'm sorry, I also did not properly introduce myself. I'm Azizat Amole Adebayo, and I'm the North Central Regional Coordinator for the Commonwealth Scholars Association of Nigeria. Okay, so, and I'm the moderator. So thanks, I'm sorry for joining late because I was bereaved this morning. Now, because it's a collaboration, for some reason, and I'm sure again, it's the human factor, Dr. Bonzu has been unable to join. So I'd like to invite, I was going to invite the chairman of the Sierra Leone Alumni Association.
He's back.
He's back?
Yes, the chairman is back.
Yes. If I think, but Dr. Salu, can we please take the chairman first? Then we take you, okay? In the spirit of, yes. So if you would have Mr. Sonia Magbabu Boake Jabi. I'm sorry if I did any injustice to that name. It's a pretty long one, but I loved it. So I mastered it for thrice before trying to say it. So please, can we have some remarks from you, please?
All right. Thank you very much, Madam Chair, Madam Moderator. I am Sonia Magba Bubwake Jabi. You did perfectly well, 3 times the charm. And I am the Chair and President of the Commonwealth Alumni Association in Sierra Leone. I am currently on this call with Dr. Saliu Sanko, who is the Secretary General. Dr. Bonzu did join, but I'm sure that he may have had some difficulties with connectivity in Freetown because we have the highest rainfall in the world. And I understand that there may be some problems there. I've been communicating with him. So we cannot allow the webinar to not succeed because of that. So therefore, I, as chair, and Dr. Saliu will step in. If Dr. Bonzu can come in, since 3 is a charm, we may be able to thrash together, but we will proceed. I am the Director of Demographic Health and Social Statistics at Statistics Sierra Leone, Stats SL. I am Head of Research and Innovation of that office. So I believe that I can handle most of this, but Dr. Sanko also is a very esteemed researcher in Sierra Leone, and we have worked together. We have I lectured at the University of Sierra Leone at Farabi College together with Dr. Saliu Sanko. We are both Commonwealth scholars, Commonwealth alumni. We work on the association together, so I believe that we can handle this topic very well, God willing. So on that note, I really appreciate this relationship we have established. We should have thought of this long ago, but they say necessity is the mother of invention. And when the British Council is dying out, well, I hope they don't die out, they are diminishing. At least the Commonwealth alumni is growing, and we are really working towards the policies of integration and expansion as prescribed by the African Union and ECOWAS. So I think that this is a very good initiative, and we should continue in this spirit and even invite. Ghana will be joining us too, and we should expand in this manner to involve all the Commonwealth countries in Africa so that we can really use this as a forum to move things forward in our spheres of interest. Thank you, Madam Moderator. My introductory remarks conclude. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Thank you so much. And now, in the spirit of what you've said, if we would have Dr. Saliu Sanko to speak, I would say, since it's going to be impromptu, so I think we'll give him around between 5 to 8 minutes to speak to the topic, translating research into policy, issues, challenges, and way forward. So, Dr. Sanko.
Thank you, Madam Moderator.
I'm sorry, beyond that, you are Secretary General, and I will assume that the representation should precede you with a number of us. I'm unable to give a befitting citation. So thank you.
Okay, I will help you introduce myself.
Thank you. Yes, thank you so much.
I'm Saliu Sanko. I research fellow and lecturer at the Institute of Marine Biology and Oceanography for Farabi College, University of Sierra Leone. But currently, I'm on loan to the Ministry of Fisheries and Marine Resources for the past 10 years, where I've coordinated the West Africa Regional Fisheries Program, so World Bank projects that ended February this year. Now I'm assisting the ministry to prepare another package of support to be funded by the Icelandic government. So I have been with this Commonwealth Alumni Association for the past 3-4 years. Our association in Sierra Leone was a bit disrupted by the COVID So we have not been able to actually continue doing our activities as we started in 2018. However, this was a very good initiative that we welcomed, and we're trying to actually make sure that we support this program. I, being a research fellow, know the challenges of research in Africa, particularly Sierra Leone, a third world country, but also the other challenges are actually translating the research findings into policy, where, for instance, research and training are done in academic and research institutions like the Institute of Marine Biology and Oceanography. And most times we have our research publications, our research reports, and academic institutions, and decision makers in government, the people doing the research, and those that are supposed to translate the research findings into policy. Now, good policies are actually a set of government principles or course of action adopted or proposed by governments or an organization or an individual in order to achieve set goals. There has to be some findings, investigations to see what are the challenges going to be, what are the strategies to achieve our goals. That has to be supported by detailed research, has to come from the research institutions and academic institutions. And we do have a lot of them in principle, but these institutions are actually not getting the support they need to carry out the research, particularly in the scientific areas. You may have socioeconomic research going on, but when you come to real scientific research in our African countries, I think our first speaker mentioned the challenges we have, even in the academic institution, lack of set laboratories, lack of funding to do research, and so on. And because of this, we do have knowledge about the problems that we need to research on, but because we don't have the funding, we certainly are faced with difficulties, and sometimes we are pushed to doing basic research that do not involve sophisticated laboratory equipment and so on. To share my experience in Sierra Leone, for instance, I used to do environmental research where I would look at the environmental quality of the marine environment. But because I do not have a laboratory now, I've been reduced to using maybe indicator species to assess the health of the marine environment and so on. But that is still good enough if that finding is actually translated into policy in the sector that we are trying to support. Firstly, the policies have to be sector-based. Policies of fisheries, access, and utilization, policy of aquaculture development and management, policy on education, policy on tourism development, and so on. These are all areas you want to actually find out. Why are, for instance, tourism? Is it that the hotel industry is not actually providing services that are
You are muted. Dr. Salu, you are muted.
Hello.
Hello, sorry.
Okay,
Yes.
okay. You're back.
Yeah, I had a disruption in the internet connectivity. I just noticed that when it came on again, I was muted. Yeah, so these policies need actually informed facts on what really the issues are and where we want to go. How do we get to that point? Therefore, research becomes really essential. But then, do we have the support we need to do the research from the government or from the public sectors that require this information? That is the key thing we want to look at. Well, the civil service don't really think in Africa, they should work with their academic institutions because they think in our local dialect here, then they talk book. Whereas they think that either they can do it themselves or they don't really need academia or researchers to do their work for them. So you have that issue of rivalry sometimes where the public service people think that we are talking book. We don't know what they want and how to go about it. At the same time, we think that, well, we are not getting support from them. So whatever we manage to get in terms of either research programs, we should keep it for academic consumptions only. Now, to bridge this gap and challenges, I think public sector should be in their academic or in their annual budgetary finance should include that money to support universities and research institutions to provide them with information on challenges, issues, gaps on policy and how to achieve set objectives. That one could be one. Alternatively, university authorities, like they've done, I'm aware in some countries, the university faculty members receive grants for research. Every year, they have a grant support of maybe $10,000 a year. Then they can use that fund to actually look at issues of developmental relevance and actually address those ones. And just before I continue on this, I wanted to contribute to the last speaker's suggestions or presentation that I think the government need to be a bit transparent in terms of identifying and making proposal on developmental areas, thematic areas that can be funded in a particular year for Commonwealth scholars. I normally would just hear an announcement that these areas are required for people can apply for Commonwealth Scholarship to study in the UK and this thematic areas. We don't know how these thematic areas are actually arrived at or decided on. I think there is need to be some kind of transparency in this because you have people going out to do some courses or studies abroad with British taxpayers' money, and they come back, they don't find jobs at all, or they don't find a way of applying the knowledge they have acquired. This makes it extremely difficult. I think we have to prioritize thematic areas of research so that when we get funding from the Commonwealth Scholarship and go out there, we are able to come back home and contribute to the development of our country as part of the contribution of Commonwealth scholarships into our different countries. So that aside, I also think that Commonwealth should also be encouraging students from Africa or developing countries to go out there, do the other aspect of the training, come back home and do the research from their homes, and then go their thesis. That would be very helpful, because from personal experience, I came back home, and then went back to write my thesis. When I completed my PhD, coming back home to integrate into the society back home and continue doing the research.
Hello? Hello? Well,
trouble. These are some of the issues we have that are limiting our capacity to do research and transform or translate these research findings into policy. Even your internet connectivity in a university is an issue. We have to use our phone data and use that to network right now. I'm sorry, I would not have not been able to do comprehensive and systematic presentation here because I was not the person to make this presentation, but I have to step in as a result of the technical hitches we have. I don't know if Mr. Jabi can come in to help whilst I consolidate again and prepare for question time. Thank you.
Thank you very much. That's fantastic improvisation. Thank you. I think you touched the main ideas. Yes, the details could be taken on at the QA, the short Q&A session that we would have before we then have the remarks from the British Council. Okay, Mr. President, do you have any addition? Or we'll simply wait for the Q&A, okay.
No, madam, I am a researcher. I will speak.
Okay, thank you.
Now, research and policy. Research in Sierra Leone at the policy level is administered by the National Statistical Office, Statistics Sierra Leone, StatsSL. StatsSL, of course, is just like the Bureau of Statistics in Nigeria and the National Population Commission of Nigeria combined. So therefore, I am head of research and innovation of this office within Sierra Leone, and I am also director for demographic health and social statistics. So therefore, this is a topic that is very close to my heart, and I do not need notes or to prepare in order to speak on this. I have lectured research and innovation, research and statistical methods at the university, at IPAM at the master's level, the MBA, the postgraduate school. I have lectured mathematics, statistics, computer science, and some mathematical modeling in econometrics at the University of Sierra Leone, Furabe College. I am an operational researcher by profession. The master's degree that I did in 2001 and 2003 at De Montfort University in Leicester was basically management science, which involves operational research, simulation, and the like, information systems, AI, artificial intelligence. I have a background in that, data science, extensive training I joined the statistics office in 2006 and have been involved in three censuses, the 2004, 2015, and the 2021. I have coordinated multiple indicator cluster surveys, mixed for UNICEF, demographic and health surveys for UNFPA. We have a $30 million grant, which we are executing, the HISWA project, harmonization in statistics for West Africa. So we're doing that with some countries, Ghana, Liberia, Sierra Leone, that I can recall of. I think there's another, I think Nigeria must be part of that too. And so research and policy. We know that data is the basis of research. And Statistics Sierra Leone coordinates the national statistical system in Sierra Leone. And the national statistical system constitutes both producers and users of statistics. So all institutions that generate data, whether MDA or CSO or NGO in Sierra Leone, and all users, we have the press, we have the organizations that always ask us for data, like the World Bank itself. They are both users and producers of statistics, the African Development Bank, all the ministries of government, all the CSOs, anybody that collects data or wants to analyze data or write reports in Sierra Leone is coordinated by me. So therefore, we sit at the helm of the research process in Sierra Leone as a whole. Even the universities are part of us. That is why I only do part-time lecturing now. But the research process, we are the start of the research process because we have as our mandate to collect, compile, disseminate, analyze, and disseminate, analyze, process, and disseminate data for knowledge, information, and applications for the general good of society. And I find this very good because we are the beginning of the policy process. We go into the field by either conducting a survey or a census, by collecting both qualitative and quantitative data for governments, for the donor community, the UN offices, I work with them, I coordinate. I am component manager for all the departments under the UNCT, the UN country team in Sierra Leone. I work with the resident coordinator and all the individual institutions. It's a very, very, very demanding task. And it has yielded significant dividends because we are able to provide data for evidence-based decision-making. We have just concluded the 2021 midterm population and housing census in Sierra Leone, which was a completely digital census. And we had, of course, great assistance from the Federal Republic of Nigeria. A consultant was sent from the National Population Commission, very young fellow, Adebayo, and we utilized technology made in Nigeria. So for me, our South-South cooperation, especially in relation to working together within ECOWAS. We also had support from Ghana. Ghana did their digital census before us, although theirs was not an entirely digital process. We did the cartographic work and collected coordinates of points throughout the entire Republic of Sierra Leone using technology and software made in Africa, made in the Federal Republic of Nigeria. And the World Bank fought with us. They wanted us to use their technology. You know, Oyibo always think that they know best. But to me, it is a singular honor. If I take this particular role of joining with you to do this, is because of the massive respect I have for the government and people of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So it is an honor. I will step in and talk as if I have prepared for this. I did not prepare, but talking comes genetically with me, as my dad was a professor, my mother was also a principal. So and I am a teacher, so we can talk. Having said that, we have a unique opportunity as Commonwealth alumni to pull in our resources and to lead and guide our very individual countries in the research process, to do quality research, both quantitative or qualitative or mixed methods research in order to improve the quality of life of our people in our various countries. And this, for me, is the main thrust of the research process. Why do we do research? We do research to improve the quality of life. I think that is the fundamental basis of it. And we have had our human capacity significantly improved through the—
Mr. Chairman, please. If you don't mind, please. Mr. Chairman, can you hear me? Sorry for cutting you short, please.
Yes, go on, Ekundayo.
Yes, we have to move on, but we'll come back to you now. But the British Council representative here wants to join another meeting, very important. That is Rosaline Obadiuno. So we want to just call out to you say something before we move on with you again, please.
All right, so of course, British Council can say something, but British Council can leave our meeting and allow us to speak.
Yes, so
just diplomatic and allow British Council to speak.
Thank you for your understanding. Thank you so much for calling our attention to that.
Yeah.
So we have Rosalind from British
Good
Council.
afternoon, everyone.
Yes, thank you. Yeah.
Good afternoon, everyone. And I would like to say thank you to everyone for taking time to attend today's webinar, and also to the speakers from Commonwealth Alumni for the wonderful contribution to this session. And okay, lastly, I'd just like to apologize for starting behind schedule and also the technical challenges which we've actually experienced into this session. And finally, it's just to say that this is just a collaboration between both associations, and so we look forward to having more collaborations in the coming months. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rosalind, for that. We appreciate your presence and our regards to the British Council. Thank you so much for your time. So she will join another meeting now. Yes, Mr. Chairman. So Sonia, you can just round up, please. Thank you.
Rosalind owes me a drink in Nigeria and a ticket to go and get that drink for interrupting my speech. Rosalind, thank you very much. Oh yeah, so I was informing of South cooperation and honoring my Nigerian comrades and colleagues for the good work that has been done in Nigeria. I only wished that Nigeria could see the light at the end of the tunnel and be peaceful and allow development to take place without bringing differences or politics or ethnic differences or religious differences into the fore. Sierra Leone, from our foundation, has been a peaceful country because slaves were returned and it was formed. Therefore, we have learned to work together. We have our differences too, yes, at times it can lead to war, but we go through these experiences to learn from them and not make the mistakes of the past. So I come as a humble servant of my republic, as a humble servant of ECOWAS, as a humble servant of the Commonwealth alumni here to interject on behalf of Dr. Samuel Bonzu, because he did connect, but I don't know, technology. I am currently in Senegal attending a workshop. I just took leave from this workshop to be part of this process. But I think that Sierra Leone should be able to do justice to the topic at hand, irrespective of not being prepared. That is what distinguishes us from other compatriots, because we are Commonwealth alumni. So going back to the subject at hand, research and policy. Policy depends on informed decisions which require evidence to be meaningful and to make progress in a society. Therefore, the collection of data, the compilation of data, the processing of data, the analysis of data, the dissemination of data, and the utilization of data are critical towards the application of research for policy dimensions. Policy, we just say policy, but policy is multifaceted and multidimensional in nature, and therefore requires a very complex approach for integrating research into much needed policy interventions. But most often than not, we limit our interventions towards the way we have administratively structured our governments and our societies so that we can apply knowledge to ensure that development is continuously improving with time. Therefore, it is incumbent on all of us as alumni to work together. And I'm very impressed with the Nigerian Alumni Association, because when we met, I met with Dr. Ekundayo and the British Council, both here and in the UK, to sort of see how we could move things forward despite the reduction of size of the British Council due to financial limitations as a result of both COVID and Brexit. So therefore, we thought that, okay, if one side is reducing its impact on what we do, then we should step up and increase our impact and utilize our various knowledge and skill sets to move not only our associations forward, but to contribute to the policy dialogue by bringing our knowledge to bear and experiences to bear to ensure that both Nigeria and Sierra Leone can march forward in relation to development. I would use the work that we do at Statistics Sierra Leone, since we are at the center of the research process in Sierra Leone, and we have worked together with the Federal Republic of Nigeria in doing this. Therefore, it would bring much to bear to what we can do as associations of Commonwealth alumni in our individual countries to ensure that the knowledge we have, you have a much bigger knowledge base in Nigeria, a massive knowledge base in Nigeria. Up to now, the population you say is the population of Nigeria, I believe is nearly half the true population of Nigeria. So given that you are in the process of doing a census, you are in a unique position to utilize your human capacity to bring meaningful contributions to policy through evidence brought about by research. We have utilized your technology to the defiance of the World Bank, who was supporting the census. They pulled out at the last minute, a day before we were to deploy and enumerate field staff to the field. And the government said, "You trust in God?" I said, "Yes, I trust in God. Proceed. God will provide." Indeed, we did, and we succeeded. So therefore, where there is resilience, where there is faith, where there is hope, where there is unity, Nigeria has the opportunity to be the greatest nation on earth, which will not only be an embodiment of all people of our color, but will be able to set the stage to bring a new world order, as we are seeing happening elsewhere through interventions through Ukraine, by Russia and China and other countries that peacefully, in other words, we should do things peacefully. We should bring to bear what we have learned through all our people in the diaspora. We should be able to bring to bear all of this to add value to our policy interventions, not only in our various countries, but also in the countries that surround us. If I may recall, when we had our problems in Sierra Leone, Nigeria came in, intervened.
I'm sorry, Mr. Chairman, you are out of time, so I'll give you just 2 more minutes so that Dr. Osage can say a few closing remarks on behalf of the Nigerian Cost Fund President, Dr. Adimola.
You see, our women are interrupting me. You asked me to speak and I am speaking. You should expand the time. Anyway, having said this, what we have decided to do as Commonwealth alumni is commendable. I think all of us have done research and have applied research in our various spheres. And Azizat, of course, is continually smiling as I speak, so she must be agreeing with me or finding me very humorous. But however, it is of great delight for the Commonwealth Alumni Association of Sierra Leone to integrate with yours is what, Cost Fan or COT, whatever, your Alumni Association, okay? And we hope that we can bring our various intellectual capacities to bear, to be unified, to move the African agenda forward. On that note, I think that our various capacities to contribute to the research process, irrespective of money. I really don't like associating money with research. If you are an academic, if you have been supported to do your studies that have higher postgraduate education in the UK, then you should be able to apply your knowledge to the development of your various societies, irrespective of financial resources. But however, that is a topic for a different time. Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. We really appreciate your remarks. And on a lighter note, I will ask you to repeat COSFAN thrice. COSFAN, it's not COS wherever, Commonwealth Scholars and Fellows Association of Nigeria.
COSFAN, 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 COSFAN. I'm going forward for good measure.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So, Dr. Osage, please. I'm sorry for just putting you on spot, but I know you are also ever ready. Yes, for some closing remarks. Yes, please. On behalf of
before
Dr.
Before you continue, please, can we request everyone to please drop their email address? If you are on the chat box, you can put on your email addresses.
Dr. Kula, you are still going to do some vote of thanks. So, and maybe final housekeeping and things like that, okay?
Thank you.
Hello, am I on now? Okay.
Yes, you are, yes.
Yes. So, on behalf of the Commonwealth Scholars and Fellows Alumni Association Nigeria, COSFAN, I want to say a big thank you to all our participants here today. At the same time, please pardon our president who would have been here, maybe for some reasons. She's a very busy person. I know that subsequently you're going to have a touch of her experience. Our big brothers from Sierra Leone, thank you so much. We have learned from you. We have started a good thing and we intend to build on it. We are going to go places. We know that. Our participants that have come from all walks of life, different fields, we thank you so much. I hope you have taken something out of this webinar today, and I want you to try and see how you can push harder. Just keep pushing for those who haven't gotten the scholarship yet and who intend to benefit. Please keep pushing. That's the spirit. A very senior professor from the University of Port Harcourt, I am so glad you came and attended this webinar. Thank you, panelists. Thank you, ever ready Dr. Azizat, moderator. And we say bigger, better things to come and stronger collaboration. Finally, I say a big thank you to British Council and the Commonwealth Scholarship Commission of UK. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Dr. Sage, for those warm and encouraging words. We hope that the collaboration has come to stay. And as Mr. Chairman mentioned, that we'll continue to go bigger. And, perhaps we have from Ghana and so on and so forth. So thank you, Dr. Sage. So Dr. Ekundayo-Samuel, please.
Okay. Thank you so much. Let me now speak as the Secretary General of Course Fund now.
Yes.
Speaker now. So I want to thank everybody for joining the meeting. Sonia, thank you so much.
I was going to say I'm sorry for interjecting.
Yeah.
On a lighter note, that perhaps then we have a joint session of you and Dr. Sanko, co-secretary general, no, but it's just on a lighter note.
Okay. Dr. Sally, isn't it? Yeah. Yes. So I want to thank everyone. Dr. Sally, thank you for joining. Thank you for the people who have joined, everyone here present today. So like I mentioned, please put down your email address on the chat. We will be having another session very soon. And by next month, I'm aware that the application for scholarship will open. So get to be on the lookout. So sorry, we're still in July. So in September, there will be a opening of the application for some scholarship type. So I want to urge you to start to put in your proposals together and go through the website again that I've shared also on the platform. Go through the website, look at the criteria. If you're eligible, begin to get yourself ready to apply. If you also need any help, we are here to also help you to support your application. So don't mind to send emails to us. We'll be ready to also put it through. And I think I shared that earlier on the platform. So please try and do that so that we can actually be of help to you. Thank you again for doing that. So on behalf of my president, I thank every one of you, and on behalf of Sonia also, the chairman of CAASL of Sierra Leone. Thank you everyone for coming in. I will drop the email again. So peradventure, if you missed it, so if you need any help, please try and contact us. Any clarification. However, the contact number, please try and send WhatsApp messages, please, preferably, please. And thank you so much. So I've shared the email address. If you have any question, then we'll look towards the request. People are asking for certificate of attendance. We'll look towards that. If it's visible, we'll get that across to you. And once again, I thank Joy, family who actually helped us to share some of the flyers that we did, the slides. Thank you, Dr. Yeah.
So I think Mr. Ademola or Prof. Olaiton's hand is up. I don't know why. Is that deliberate?
Who is that?
Yeah, it's not deliberate. It's deliberate. It's deliberate.
Yeah.
Good afternoon, sir. Yeah, I'm just asking for the contact number, and thank God Mr. Defunda just post this now. But I'm just looking at if you can get a telegraph or WhatsApp contact.
Yes, I said I have shared that with you, the email and the WhatsApp.
Yes, I just said something now.
Yes, please. So I've shared the email with you and also the WhatsApp contact page. I think that will do well with us. So let me thank especially every custom member here present and every member of the Commonwealth Alumni of Sierra Leone here present. We appreciate you for joining us. Every senior colleague, professors, emeritus professors, and everybody, thank you for joining. And I think on this note, I want to say thank you. for joining. So we look forward to having you again in our future event. Thank you so much.
Thank you, everyone. It's been nice.
Dr. Salu.
Yep. Dr. who?
Dr. Salu. Thank you so much.
Yes, please.
Okay.
You're welcome, Ekundayo.
Yeah, thank you so much. Mr. Sonia, thank you so much. Dr. Aziza,
always a pleasure. Always a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Hope to see you all soon.
Thank you.
Yes, we'll keep this going. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye.
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 Don't forget to drop your email before you leave, please.
Yes. Bye-bye.
Dr. Moloye, bye-bye.
Bye-bye,
Yes,
Dr.
yes,
Gugero Matthew.
yes, I'm from your hometown, Igboho.